So lads, not good news right here. Not good news. So whatever the hell they had her doing in Indiana, I mean this when I say this, get as far away from Indiana as possible. Get as far away from that medical team as possible. Because, like, when her body's breaking down with no injury.
In a somber announcement, the Indiana Fever revealed the latest on Caitlin Clark's health, and it's not good. After Clark injured her right groin on July 15th, a thorough medical evaluation thankfully found no additional injuries or damage to the area. But any relief was fleeting. The team bluntly stated there is no timetable available for Clark's return.
Following a July 15th injury to her right groin, Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark underwent further medical evaluations earlier this week. The team can confirm that no additional injuries or damage were discovered through the evaluations. Clark will continue working with the Fever medical team on her recovery and rehabilitation, with the priority on her long-term health and well-being. There is no timetable available for Clark's return, and no additional details will be provided at this time. Any further updates will be shared as they become available. This is an update, a statement directly.
No one, not the coaches, not the medical staff, can say when the WNBA's brightest young star will be back on the court. It's a chilling uncertainty that has fans and teammates alike anxious and heartbroken. This open-ended absence comes as a gut punch. For a player of Clark's caliber, the phrase "no timetable" feels almost unthinkable.
There's no timetable for Caitlin Clark's return after being evaluated this week, which means, worst case scenario, the Indiana Fever can be without Caitlin for the rest of the year. But best case scenario, she comes back after missing a few games. But does that mean she'll be healthy? 100% fully healthy at least. Their next 3 games, which are the final games of July, is against the Aces tonight at home, then Chicago Sky on the road, then back at home against the Phoenix Mercury. But here's the schedule for the beginning of August, and again, this Fever team has to prepare to be without Caitlin Clark as she has no timetable for a return. But
it means even the experts are unsure if her recovery will take weeks or much longer. The Fever's update offered no further details, leaving everyone in the dark. Concern rippled through the basketball world. How could it be that Caitlin Clark, the phenomenally tough guard who seemed destined to take the league by storm, now has an injury so troublesome that nobody knows when she'll play again?
Either, folks, it was only a week ago that Caitlin Clark was listed as questionable for a Wednesday night game against the New York Liberty in New York. About 5 hours prior to game time, it goes from questionable to out. Thursday, heading into the All-Star break, the three-point contest is Friday night. Caitlin Clark releases a statement of her own saying she won't be participating in the three-point contest and won't be participating in the All-Star game. Caitlin Clark's team has made it known we are going to be holding her out until she is fully recovered. We are not going to be rushing her back at.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. Tragically, this uncertainty has been the theme of Clark's entire season. Every time she suits up, it feels like only a matter of time before the next setback. In fact, this latest groin injury is the 3rd soft tissue issue Clark has dealt with since the 2025 WNBA regular season began, and the 4th such ailment in 2025. It's a heartbreaking cycle. She plays brilliantly for brief stretches, only to be sidelined by injury again and again.
A lot of people were of the opinion of stay out as long as you have to. Just stay out. I mean, I'm starting to wonder if the season is not a wash at this point anyway. She needs to get well. This is good news, at least. Honestly, as someone who has dealt with this injury during the season, the way she was walking and moving all-All-Star week gave me hope for her. It wasn't a lot worse and a season-ending thing. They have to be smart, though.
The pattern began early. Clark's troubles started with a left quadricep strain in late May that sidelined her for 5 games. She returned in mid-June, determined and hopeful, but within 5 games she went down again. This time a left groin injury that cost her 4 more games and even the Commissioner's Cup championship. Undeterred, Caitlin underwent rehab and came back once more.
Now, just like I stated, guys, this should not come as no surprise, bro. I told you. Caitlin Clark was injured with her mobility. When she caught the first groin injury, that's what really kind of did everything in for her, guys. It was just not looking good. after that first one. And unfortunately,
fans rejoiced to see her back in uniform until July 15th, when disaster struck yet again with a right groin injury against Connecticut. It was cruel déjà vu. Remarkably, Clark had never missed a game due to injury before this year, yet now she's suffered 4 different muscle injuries so far this year. It's an almost surreal turn of events for a 23-year-old superstar in peak condition. Each setback has been more devastating than the last, not just for Caitlin, but for the league that depends on her star power. Clark immediately became the face of the Fever and a marquee attraction for the entire league. Her presence has been a boon to the WNBA. She led the league in jersey sales and drove huge spikes in ticket sales and TV ratings, making her absence a blow to the league's momentum.
And yeah, of course, I want to see her play. Of course, I think they need her to win majority of these games. But at the same time, she needs to rest, right? She needs to rest. We done seen her try to come back prematurely. She plays well, and then those next following games, it just looked like she's just not there. She doesn't look the same, can barely get those shots off. So yeah, I think it's best for everybody for her to rest and just get ready for the end game of this season.
Now, with Clark stuck in an endless injury rehab loop, that momentum has stalled. This was supposed to be the season she took the league by storm, headlining All-Star Weekend, pushing Indiana into contention, delivering jaw-dropping highlights on a nightly basis. Instead, it's been a season of glimpses and what-ifs. She was voted an All-Star Game starter and captain, only to withdraw because she physically couldn't participate. The All-Star festivities in Indianapolis, which should have been her shining moment on her home stage, went on without their main attraction. And with the Fever hovering around .500 in the standings, every game Clark misses dims the team's playoff hopes. Indiana is 4-7 without her, compared to 8-5 when she plays. The WNBA is feeling her absence in every way.
She's missed 5 games on 2 separate occasions, first due to a left quad strain and then because of a left groin injury. However, the Fever announced no timetable for her return. She's missed 11 of 24 games this season. Wow. The team's statement said they will prioritize her long-term health. Clark's absence is a blow to the Fever's playoff hopes. At 12-12, Indiana holds a 1-game lead over the 9th seed Golden State Valkyries. However, the Fever are 4-7 without Caitlin Clark in the lineup.
When Caitlin has managed to take the court this season, it's been clear she's not the fully unleashed player fans remember. How could she be, carrying these nagging injuries and the weight of enormous expectations? Even so, game after game, she has visibly fought through the pain. Every jump shot seems a little heavier, every drive a little more labored, each change of direction more cautious. On the road, she's a shocking 2 of 35 from long range. These numbers scream that she isn't herself, likely because she's never fully healthy when she plays. It's obvious the revolving door of injuries has taken a toll on her rhythm and confidence. How could it not? One week she's wearing a bulky wrap on her thigh, the next she's nursing a tender groin. Even Caitlin has acknowledged the challenge.
It is a scary thing when your legs are breaking down and you're not injured, because you have to figure out what the hell that is. It could literally be her running mechanics changed and it put pressure, even slightly it put more pressure on her upper legs. Like all of those things, which very well could be a reason why she's shooting so badly. Like maybe she did too much work trying to bulk up her upper body and not enough on her legs. Like, I don't know. She should probably go, I mean this when I say this, go to Iowa and do what she did in the offseason beforehand. But now it's going to take, like hire a Tim Grover or something, because she's going to have to rechange how she runs.
Fans can see that strain when she plays. Every time she takes a hard fall or comes up limping, the entire arena holds its breath, praying she's okay. She almost always waves off help and pushes through, determined not to let her team down. But observers can tell she's in discomfort. A slight limp here, a wince there. She gives everything she has, yet the cost is evident in her diminished explosiveness and shaky shooting. It's the portrait of a warrior trying to will herself through pain, and it's as inspiring as it is heart-wrenching. Opposing teams haven't made it any easier. With Clark's reputation and skill, she's become target number 1 for every defense, and many opponents have tested her with overly physical play. Some have openly admitted their game plan is to rough her up. We know she doesn't like physicality, one opposing coach said, laying bare the tactic. In practice, that means defenders bump, grab, and hit Clark at every turn to throw her off her game. At times, it's gone beyond normal physical play and into dangerous territory. Clark has already been on the receiving end of 6 flagrant fouls this season, more than any other player. She's been cracked in the face by a stray elbow and body checked to the floor on a drive. These are the kind of blows that can cause real damage.
I want her making some statements about how her body feels this season under the circumstances of, well, getting the crap kicked out of her on the court and just dealing with injuries, right? I mean, people forget when she's injured, she can't train. You know, every time she gets injured and has to sit out, she has to come back and she has to try to recapture basketball shape, right? The ability to run up and down the court and maintain that cardio.
Coach Stephanie White believes this constant pounding is taking a toll on her star. A player who handles the ball as much as Caitlin is getting hit on almost every possession. And it causes you to load differently, explode differently, White explained. Over time, all that contact can contribute to injuries. Even broadcasters have taken notice. In one recent game, as defenders swarmed and grabbed at Clark, ESPN's Rebecca Lobo described what she saw. There's a grab, there's a hold, there's another grab. All of those are fouls, every single one of them. Yet many of those fouls weren't called. White has been visibly frustrated by the officiating all year. She even ranted that everybody's getting better, except the officials, after feeling the refs were allowing too much abuse of her star player. The bottom line is that Caitlin has been taking a beating night after night, and it's hard not to connect that relentless physical punishment to the injuries now threatening her season.
I mean, yes, you can argue that they play better without Caitlin, but no, in the postseason, you need your stars. They're going to need Caitlin. The fact that she's injured sucks, that's one thing. But the fact that we have no idea when she's coming back is another thing. Because the WNBA, Indiana, it's all taking a hit. I mean, it's kind of recovering at first when she was missing a lot of games, viewership, whatever you would like to talk about. Dropped, really did. But it's starting to rise. Even the All-Star game was a success.
The breaking point came on July 15th in that fateful game against the Sun. Late in the fourth quarter, with victory in sight, fate struck again. Clark dished out an assist for what should have been the game's closing basket, then suddenly pulled up lame, clutching her right groin in pain. The arena fell silent as she limped toward the bench. Teammate Aaliyah Boston walked beside her in concern. In frustration and anguish, Caitlin slammed her head against the padded basket stanchion. Moments later, she sank onto the bench, pulled a towel over her head, and appeared to be holding back tears. What should have been a moment of triumph had turned into yet another nightmare. For fans, seeing Caitlin like that was gut-wrenching. This is the same fiery leader who usually rallies teammates and ignites crowds, now slumped over, hiding tears under a towel. Someone who continues to have setbacks, it's very frustrating, mentally and emotionally tough, Coach White said afterward, describing Clark's despair. Indeed, upset hardly covers it. One can only imagine the frustration and fear Caitlin felt in that moment, knowing the cycle was repeating once more.
Well, I hate to break the news to y'all. My precious CC will be out indefinitely. That means we won't see her until next year because the whole Indiana Fever organization has failed her. You hear me? And the whole WNBA, from the commissioner to the corrupted referees and also the players that was on payroll. You hear me? That was sent to take her out the game. You hear me? Because they threatened by her aura and her greatness and her skill set. Because clearly...
Now she's stuck in the one place she hates to be, on the sidelines in street clothes, watching helplessly. Game after game, Clark must sit and watch her team fight on without her. She stays as engaged as possible, clapping for her teammates' big plays, offering advice during timeouts, but there's an unmistakable longing in her eyes. For a competitor of her caliber, being unable to play is its own kind of agony. She's attacking her rehabilitation with everything she's got, determined to return stronger. But rehab is a lonely grind, and each day out of action is another test of her patience and spirit. Fans, meanwhile, have been pouring out support. They don't want her rushing back this time. CC can take all the time she needs to completely heal. We want her back 100% healthy. One fan pleaded on social media. Another added that she should even sit out the rest of the regular season if that's what it takes for a full recovery. That's how much she means to everyone. Her supporters would rather wait longer than see her come back too soon and risk yet another heartbreak. They just want Caitlin to be whole and happy, lighting up the court the way she's meant to.
Good morning, good morning. Did you know that Caitlin Clark is getting doctor treatments on her own? I heard that she's doing dry needling and different type of methods so she can come back. This means that she doesn't really trust the Indiana Fever medical staff, which is not a good sign. Also, heard that she might be doing stem cell treatment, but she's doing all this on her own. She is trying her darnest to get back on the court. And to me, that's a dedicated athlete, man.
As of now, nobody knows how long this painful chapter will last. That means everyone is left asking hard questions that have no clear answers. How long can she endure this cycle? How many times can a superstar pick herself up off the mat before it just becomes too much? Will we ever see the real Caitlin Clark again this season? The fearless, electrifying player we know. Will she return in full form, or has this year of injuries changed her? What is the league losing by her continued absence? In truth, it's losing a bit of its soul. Every game without Caitlin is missing the special buzz that only she provides. The league loses momentum and excitement when its most magnetic star is sidelined.
Leg injuries in 2.5 months? After playing 181 straight games with no injuries, you've had 4 leg injuries, soft tissue injuries in 2.5 months. Now, I'm not talking about a knee injury, not talking about a shoulder. Thank God we're not talking about the dreaded Achilles issue. But still, I can't help but wonder what is going on here with...
For the Fever and the WNBA, it's about more than wins and losses. It's about the human story of a young athlete facing adversity. Fans everywhere have an emotional stake in seeing her overcome this. There's a nagging worry in the back of everyone's mind. Will she be the same when she comes back? Or will this string of injuries leave a lasting mark? All we can do now is what Caitlin herself must do. Wait and hope. Hope that her groin heals fully and that this cycle of injuries finally ends. The Fever have emphasized that her long-term health and well-being come first, exactly as it should be. Caitlin Clark's new injury update looks terrible. It's the last thing anyone wanted to hear. But amid the heartache, there is a resolve. Let her heal completely now so that when she does return, the cycle of pain can finally be broken. And when that day comes, it will be a glorious, long-awaited sight. Caitlin Clark, healthy and herself again, lighting up the basketball world like the superstar she truly is.